Brothers and sisters, friends and family, shalom, shalom, shalom. It has been a bit. It's been a while. Feels like a bit. I don't know if it has, but it's been very, very crazy in the jungles that we live in. We live in the jungles of Central America, and it is an abnormally wet season. Most of us probably understand why in the events that are unfolding before our eyes. But the greatest thing that we could ever see and that we can ever believe, it doesn't have anything to do with politics. It doesn't have to do with the world. It doesn't have to do with anything. At the end of the day, none of that actually even matters. Because we didn't elect anybody. We are under governance of other people. We elect the Messiah of the universe. We elect the Word of our Creator made flesh. And we await for His coming. And I don't think we have a tremendous amount of time left. Looking at the events unfolding before our very eyes, looking at who is a Messiah of Israel, seeing all of this fall into place right before our eyes, we can see that there is some crazy stuff happening in the future. And the only way that we have any form of safety in this world that we are into is if we are embedded and embraced into the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. The first 5 books of Scriptures, the most amazing things that you guys can ever set your eyes on. Not only are they a beauty to read and a wondrous understanding to the human system, they are something that will make you understand that there is a set of arms and a set of hands that each of us is wrapped into, and that even though what looks like could very well be the end of times right before our eyes, we know that there is assurance to those who are in the hands of our Creator. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to go through tribulation. It probably means we're going to go through a lot of tribulation. Because according to the book of Revelation, if what's going on appears to be what it really appears to be, it's going to be some bad time for the Torah keepers. And so I would encourage everybody to sit down and put on that safety belt, the belt buckle, the life-saving strap of the Torah. And you get in your driver's seat, put both hands on the wheel, head down, be ready for that airbag because we are on a bumpy road. The best thing, if you guys are watching this video, the greatest thing that you can pull away from this, if you do not know this right now, is that the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator that are right here in any book of any Bible of anywhere starts with Genesis. And on the very first page, on the very first chapter, we learn things. We learn amazing things. We learn just incredible things. And guys, it is a amazing thing when we are in Scriptures, and the Scriptures that we are seeing and that we are reading today is it is our Messiah made flesh. And before I get into our Messiah made flesh, I would like to point out that as we are going through these crazy events of what very well could be, end time events, if things keep cracking away, they are, and this is looks as to be what it is, probably one of the greatest resources that we can have is a big, heavy-duty Scriptures to our taking. If in the event of any electronics or anything goes out, you don't have access to anything, right here, right before your eyes, you're looking at 103 books. You will never find another Scriptures anywhere like this. The caliber of quality of the names that have been restored, you don't have the pagan names anymore. This is the name of the Son of the creator of the universe, the word made flesh. It has been restored. Instead of saying Jesus, the joke's kind of on us, or ISIS. Now we have the name of Yahuwah and Yahushua right before our eyes. And this book is large print. Even with my bad eyes, I can see this thing across the table and make out words. And right before it, it's huge. It is like it's like going to a movie theater where the screen is ginormous. And so if you're looking to really digest the word of our Creator, really pull through this and read it. And I encourage everybody to start on page 1. Read it as a love letter, as a technical manual from our Creator to you. If you fall in love with the scriptures, you can make it through this book very quickly. It's not one of these things that takes years and years and years to get through. When you start reading it and start grasping it and start understanding it, and sometimes it doesn't happen the very first round, right? You have to read slowly to understand what's happening. But the entire concept of the first page all the way to the end of Revelation and all through the Apocrypha, it is the same theme. It is the same message. It is, if you will obey the first 5 books of scriptures, our Creator, Yahuwah, will be our Elohim. He will be our God. He will be our uppercase God. He will be our one. And that's what we want. But we can't have him as our Creator unless we are fulfilling the rest of the covenant. We can't have him as our provider and him giving us the best of the blessings unless we are doing everything we can to obey his will. And when you look at his will, when you look at the laws, statutes, and commandments, they're good, they're clean, they're holy, they're just, they make a tremendous amount of sense. I've been a business guy all my life. I've been in business. I've done cutthroat business. I worked at Google for years. I'm an IT guy, right? I've never seen a better set of manuscript of a way of a production of anything except in Torah. I've seen the greatest of the greats put their bookwork together, put all their manuscripts, their technical guides, and all this stuff. And the way of our Creator trumps everything that I can ever find. It is the greatest manual for anything. Leviticus 11 teaches us how to live as a dietary people, as a people that don't eat bad food. It's obvious when you think about it that when the food that is called dirty, unclean, has problems with it. It has the meat that they eat. Sometimes the unclean food is like vultures and ravens and owls and nighthawks and things that are like ripping things to shreds, that are eating corpses, that are eating just very unhealthy things. And we shouldn't fry it up. We shouldn't pop that up, clean it up, batter it up and eat it. It's not meant to be eaten. The same with pig. That is one of the greatest things that it's the Christian crack cocaine. If there's nothing more, I've seen people, hooked. We've seen the people of the 80s and 90s hooked on crack cocaine. They do anything for this. It's the same with the pig. When you try to get people to understand that a pig is not food, it's never been food. In fact, a very smart group of people a long time ago mentioned that they believe, from some sort of research or things they saw, that pig was actually somehow DNA wacky mold by the Nephilim themselves. Like they somehow put this thing together for probably this purpose of some sweet, salty stuff that people can fry up and eat. And they produce mass amounts of meat, and it's very unclean. But when we get into scriptures, when we get into Torah, we learn that is not good for us. Now, today we're going to be reading again from the book of the Nazarene. All right, now again, the book of the Nazarene is the last book in Yah Scriptures. And what you're looking at is you're looking at the Google app, which is 100% free of charge. Go to YahScriptures.com. All the free versions are there. Everything that Yah Scriptures has is completely free of charge. Send it around, give it away, reproduce it, send it off to your friends, whatever you'd like to do. There are no holds, no bars. Give it to anybody who is willing to listen and show people the light. And, encourage people to read scriptures, just like I'm always encouraging you guys to read scriptures, because they are a thing of power. And until you understand that literally you are being surrounded by, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it other than there's an absolute power of protection, an absolute bond with the creator of the universe when you come into Torah and when you start walking like he wants us to walk. And who else, who better to tell us how we should be living than the guy that created us, right? There's not going to be anybody that has better ideas or better plans for our lives than the one who knows how we work very intimately. Now, the book of the Nazarene, we're starting in chapter 11, verse 11, are the words of our Messiah made flesh. It is, again, same things that we've heard throughout the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Very, very much extra information in this. Let us begin. Let us read. I'm sorry for rambling, guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. There are deceivers who lead the people along devious paths which can never end in contentment. They produce dove's eggs to the people, but when hatched in secret, these produce vipers. They fawn upon the rich and notorious, a smile on their faces and a dagger in their hearts, but to the underprivileged, they turn a face of harshness. Guys, this is crazy because I don't mean to browbeat. Actually, I do. The Hallelujah Scriptures is a terrible organization, and they should really be put in check. The people of our Creator should understand that the Hallelujah Scriptures is a completely criminal organization. And I say that with 100% proof. You can go to hallelujahscriptures.net. They've done very evil things, and they're continuing on, and they just ran another grift. They're the people that give everyone dove's eggs. The Hallelujah Scriptures is an extremely cash-loaded company that extorts a tremendous amount of money. They wire fraud all their money over to New Zealand. And the kicker of the entire thing is they're supposed to be able to take care of orphans, widows, and lepers. And I did a research, and I put a flag out there for years and years and years for a single orphanage to ever come and show me anything. Show me that they fixed a roof, a door, a walkway, helped, I don't know, throw some food to the table. Nobody ever came forward. No, nobody. And guys, look at this channel. It's nearly 40,000 subs. We're putting the message out. We're putting them on Front Street, and the word gets around. Nobody ever came. And so these are the people. And Hallelujah Scriptures is simply one example, because I will tell you other examples are the so-called Torah-keeping people that are financially raping the people of Yah by putting ads in there, by making people pay for the information, by monetizing the word of our Creator. I find this very, very evil. I think everybody should be put on Front Street. I think if you are serving up ads and you are a Torah-based channel, I think you need to really come to the confessional. I think you really need to figure out, is these little tiny chips that you're doing from advertising worth souls? Because what happens if you turn a brother or sister astray because they're sitting there watching something and some holy chanting person comes on and they all of a sudden decide they're going to go into some occult stuff, right? This is on all of them, right? Serving people ads at this. They fawn upon the rich and notorious, the underprivileged. To the underprivileged, they turn a face of harshness. Yeah, serve them the ads. 12. The hypocrites, the self-deceivers, and the self-centered are the minions of the evil on earth, and are the true enemy opposing the coming rule of Elohim. That's top, right? The hypocrites, self-deceivers, and self-centered. All things that we need to not be. Are we self-centered? Are we self-deceiving? Are we hypocrites? Do we do something different than what we know we're supposed to be doing? Do we say that we're one way and then just act completely different? That's the coming rule. The rule of Elohim is being afflicted by these types of people. So let's check ourselves every single day. Let's make sure we're looking at ourselves in the mirror of the Torah, that we are maintaining our integrity as people who should be maintaining a set of ways. The kingdom that's coming, guys, the rule of Elohim, the rule of Elohim is when Messiah is coming. It's not, man, I always wondered if it was my lifetime, and I absolutely believe, without a shadow of a doubt, it's here. Okay, let them maintain the upper hand, and you will never know the joys of a reborn world. Turn your backs on these wherever you find them, so your contempt is made manifest. But remember They will be found in the most unexpected places. Wow. Unexpected places, right? The people out there serving up scriptures in the name of the creator of the universe, saying they have orphans, widows, or lepers, and they mass ship Bibles into prisons. And that's not true. I talked to lots and lots, hundreds of people behind bars, and there's one thing that there's not a tremendous any of is the Holy Scriptures. So had these people not been in these unexpected places, then for 13 years, the word of our Creator has been subdued. It has been chained down by the hand of Deb and Ken of the Holy Scriptures, or Shalom, or Max, whatever their pseudonyms are of the day. Continuing on. Beware of the self-seekers, whose path is over the bodies of those they drag down. If you associate with them, you may become a cobblestone for their feet. Guys, this is a huge thing, right? A lot of people will hook their stars to the wrong wagons, and that wagon will take off, and they don't have a good driver. And so you're stuck. And so if you see others that have used people and stepped on them to make them better, and then you want to hang out with them, or you think it's a good idea to do business with them, understand that if what they have done before is what they will potentially do to you. So you need to understand we don't want to be hanging with these people, right? This is the thing about living in the Gentile world, is we have to do business with the Gentiles, but we don't want to be as the Gentiles. We don't want to have to get, especially getting into business with people that are lawless. If you do not have the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, you're a dangerous person. If you don't have the morals, if you don't understand we're not supposed to hurt the disabled or have invalid weights and measurements, that literally ripping somebody off is a commandment that it's something our Creator doesn't want us to do. We should never be doing this. Continuing on, avoid the tangled thickets of money dealing, lest the spiders therein lure you into their webs and suck you dry. The self-seekers are blind to the obligations of life, supposing these to be a profitless burden. But I tell you that anyone who shoulders them courageously and cheerfully will be duly rewarded. There's a big thing right here at the end of this, and we hear the first part of this verse is really thick, right? It's really telling us the beware, starts off, right? Beware, okay? Beware of the self-seekers, and then they tell you why, right? Because it is, Messiah tells us why. They'll just drag you down. The body count will continue on, and you will more than likely become a cobblestone for their feet, because people that do that to any others can make an excuse to do that to you. Again, if they've done it one time, they can certainly do it again. And then the big thing I think of this verse right here, which I just went out of, is, let's get back to that. Hang tight. Right here. Courageously and cheerfully, right? That is a lot of what we read in scriptures, is that there's one thing about living in doom and gloom and dealing with it. Another thing is to understand that this world is temporary. And I'm preaching to myself as I preach all this. I teach to myself as I teach all this. The doom and gloom that we see today and the world that we see today should be very exciting to us as people of our Creator. It does a couple things for us. When we see temples being rebuilt in the Middle East and coins with Trump's face and the savior of Israel being Donald Trump, red lights, alerts, things come up. But this is very exciting. This is something that we're going to have to live through this very courageously. According to the book of Revelations, most of us could die. So there's coming some stuff that's going to make it hard to smile. But we got to dig through this, and we got to be ready for this, because eternity is forever. Eternity is a long, long, long time. And it's something that we have to understand. We're in a testing grounds. And no doubt, we're at a very interesting time in our life and in our world where we are seeing some crazy stuff happening. We are seeing stuff that we've been looking for a long time. Could very well be here. Okay, we need to courageously and cheerfully deal with all this, right? And we need to deal with all this crazy stuff coming up on us. Okay, the stake, the cross, right? They say cross, it's a cross-beam stake. The stake of Kai is not easy to bear, for it chafes and weighs down heavily. Okay, this is good for us in these end times, guys, right? Or what could potentially be the end times. I'm not out here saying it is. I'm just saying be aware and look upon what everybody's seeing. There's some stuff that's happened, right? Never mind. I'm not getting into the shot of the ear and all of this stuff. I'm not going to say anything about it, right? But when you look at all of this stuff from a overall standpoint, there's some weird stuff happening. Okay. It's going to be hard for us to bear. But unless a man sacrifice himself on it, he shall not rise to glory. Okay? Do not seek easy directions for an easy path. For this is not difficult to find, though it has no destination. Okay, guys, there's an easy path, and it's called Christianity. It's called religion in general. Every single religion, let's talk about Catholics, right? You can do whatever blasphemous, evil sin that you want. You can go tell this little dude in a box, and he can tell you whatever penance you need to do for this, and, say a couple Hail Marys, whatever, and he can absolve you of this. That's not in the books, right? That's not something that is there. But that's an easy path, right? Because people can just go, okay, I can just go to the priest, this guy they call father, who we're not supposed to call father, and he can absolve us of these sins. That's an easy path. Christians have an easier one, right? You can ask Jesus to forgive you all the time. I learned that as a Christian. That was what our doctrine was. We prayed to Jesus. Jesus was loving, forgiving, merciful, and always accepting everybody. Nobody could snap anybody out of the palm of the Creator's hand. The laws have all been gone because the Son of the Most High said we don't need to keep them. And if we break one, we're going to break them all. So why would we ever keep them at all or do anything like that? And they will literally tell you that you will go to hell for keeping the commandments. Now, if what I just said sounded like kind of the same stuff you heard, it's because it's a cult. It's the same stuff that they tell everybody. Everybody memorizes the same stuff. Everybody goes through it. Everybody knows the Trinity is like an egg. You got you got a yolk, you got the middle stuff, and you got the yellow in the middle, and it's it's all 3 in 1. It's the egg, but it's 3 in 1, right? And that's how they will try to explain away this madness of a Trinity, when in fact Deuteronomy 6 says our Creator is one. Yahuwah is one. So if Yahuwah is 2, then the Creator of the universe just lied. I'm not accepting the Creator of the universe lied, especially when he's so heavy on not being deceptive, not lying, not being trickery, none of that. That's the complete opposite. That's what the devil does. Or if you want the complete polar opposite of the goodness of our Creator, you have this hijinks, horrible entity called the devil, Hasatan, that is unmerciful. All he wants is souls. He'll do whatever he can to do anything. It's a giant game to him, right? The game of soul winning, and it is a hard path when you don't keep the Torah, because you will get sick from the food you eat. You will accumulate sin after sin after sin after sin, that you'll be standing naked before your Creator on day of accounting, dealing with this, and you won't have an advocate. You will not have Messiah, because Messiah told us in Matthew 7 that those who are lawless go to hell. Then he reiterated a second time and said, those who are lawless go to hell. And so it is tough. It is very, very tough when you don't keep the Torah. So Messiah says, follow the harder one. Now you tell Christians that Jesus said to keep the laws and to follow the hard path, and not this lesser than weak sauce rulings of Christianity. It's a terrible man-made doctrine. It's totally the easy path. Messiah says, follow the harder one. The directions are given in the Kodesh books. What Kodesh books? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. That's the Kodesh books. That's the first 5 books of scriptures. All of books of scriptures, right? You could take all of them and call them all the Kodesh books. I wouldn't put Paul's stuff in there as the Kodesh books. I wouldn't put anything that ever goes against Torah in any way, shape, or form into this Kodesh books. But if you want the real deal Kodesh books, that's the first 5 books of scriptures. That's the law. So the directions are given in the Kodesh books, and at the end, you will find sunlit meadows and a region of liveliness. Excellent, because all around us right now, we see death, destruction, despair, and depravity. We see a world that is, it's fading away. We see a world that is very, very, very satanic. Everywhere I go, I'm seeing people with put 666 at the end of their names, or have like all-seeing eyes, or pagan things, or it's not that we're in a antichrist culture now, but it's like we have completed the fullness of the antichrist culture. Like, people are cheering on the devil. They're cheering on the end times. They're cheering on the man of sin. They're cheering on evil and wickedness. And it's no longer anything that's in the closet anymore. Everybody's openly doing it. And this is why, if you are hearing the voice of our Creator, if you are hearing his way forward, he's called you out of the fire. He's snatched you from the flames. He has stopped something where it looks to me like there's not a decade, there's probably not 10 years left, is my guess. If it keeps rolling like it is, and it may be even shorter than that. So, guys, this is the best time to come into Torah. This is the best time to seek our Creator. I'm always going to say it. I'm going to say it forever until I take my last breath, and I hope somebody out there listens. I hope you guys will find this, because when you find what I'm talking about, you're going to be out there shouting it. You're going to be saying, hey, listen to the Torah. The Torah is good. It's not death. It's life. Bring it into your life. Bring it into your family's life. Change the way you're living. Change eternity. This is a turning point right now that all of us can take, that we will embrace the Torah, that we will look at these scriptures that are beautiful, that are good, that will give us life and not death. Look at these beautiful things right before us, guys. You can go to yahuwahtorah.net, and it has this full list of Torah commands as well. You can also, I think, download them from there, somewhere in there, I think. But these are what I'm talking about. These are the Kodesh words, right? Keep the Sabbath day. These are very Kodesh words, right? You wouldn't know that you have a seventh day. They call it a Saturday, but whatever day, it doesn't matter what they call it on the Gregorian calendar, on these Babylonian things. It is the seventh day. And our Creator has said, take it off. But what do we do in the world? We make it our marketing day. We make it the greatest shopping day of the week. It's the day to do whatever we want to do. And then Sunday we go to a temple made by man and make people rich. And just then we go out and go eat and make people work and all sorts of stuff. So these are the Kodesh books. Things like this, honor your parents. Not only once in Exodus 20 do we have it, but we have it also in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. Do not kill. It's not just in Exodus, right? Don't break wedlock, right? This is men and women. How many times do we hear this all the time, right? Nobody barely says it at all. It is one of these horrible, horrible things that happens over and over and over, where men and women become unfaithful to each other, and they do the terrible. Once you break wedlock, once you commit adultery, you are not to go back into another person, because you will make them an adulteress. You will do even worse than you have already done. This is a big deal. Guys, you don't need to be looking over the other side of the fence. You need to keep watering the grass that is on your side. Take care of it. Make that lawn look really good, and then you will never have time to go messing around outside of that to a place you don't want to be, right? That's the Kodesh books. These are all things that we should be doing, right? Don't make false accusations against your neighbor. Don't do evil things. That's big in the eyes of our Creator. All these things. Do not lie with beast, right? The Christians don't have this, right? It's a rampant thing that is happening worldwide, that has been happening. It's complete abomination. Oh, do not eat what is torn of any beast, right? Don't eat the roadkill, folks. Do not judge unrighteously against the poor. Wow. So we don't. This is, these are Kodesh words, right? Where else do you figure this out at, right? If you have an opportunity to serve the rich guy or the poor guy, Don't go to the rich guy over the poor guy. Judge righteously in all things. And it happens in the judicial system, right? This is why we have all these people on death row. Why we have majority of them as a colored person. The minority are white, but those without attorneys end up on death row. And most of the people that I've talked to all had pretenders. They had people that, because they were poor, they ended up in a place that if they had money, then they would have never, ever ended up there. Just the way it is. That's the truth. But these are all the things that people throw on the cross. They throw away. All right, guys. I think we'll leave it with this. Thank you guys very much. If you made it to the end of this, congratulations. I'm sorry I ramble like I do. Much love to all of you guys. Thanks for the support that you guys always have. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'm out.